Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kuda.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Welcome back, tennis fans. Here we go one more time. How you doing there, JG? We're back for some women's. This time we've got the Women's Dubai Tennis Championships 2021.
Mate, it doesn't get any bigger, apart from the Grand Slams, obviously. I notice you're rocking you got the clay court on in preparation.
It from the last one, to be honest. I can swap it over now for you if you like. There you go.
That's all good, mate. And this is a good one. The only thing I'm going to say with this is just really disappointing. Obviously, me and Ben, we've missed the entry for the bracket. It's a bit unfortunate, really, the way that they've started on a Sunday seemed to be sort of threw us off a little bit. I think a lot of people in the league are in the same boat in terms of a lot of people who have missed it. I just had a look through, and there's about 15 people in our league who have actually done it. So
sad, mate.
It's a bit disappointing. However, Ben's he's made the next best thing. He's used a bit of Photoshop, and we're doing our predictions regardless. We'll be able to record whoever's the GTL winner for this month. But in terms of me and Ben, it's a draw. However, we can give our predictions anyway, and you never know. Maybe we'll give it to each other if one of us get the actual winner or something like that.
Yeah, well, we can hear your predictions as we go through anyway, can't we? So maybe we'll just have a battle between ourselves. We won't be able to compete with you guys, which is the sad thing. This one is obviously closed already, this bracket, but make sure, just in case the other ones do start early as well. I went frantically through all the other brackets and filled them all out just in case. So make sure you jump on to the Tennis Draw Challenge and do your picks as soon as possible, just because we never know in this kind of world we're in right now. We just don't know what happens. Everything, they just play it by ear by the looks of it. They start things a day early just to get in our heads. But don't worry, we're going to bring you our selections, so you can go through with us and just tell us if you've got any of the similar picks.
And the reason we're starting off with this one, obviously, is probably the biggest one. You could say maybe the one with Federer returning is quite big. In terms of actual event, though, this is huge. This is a WTA 1000 event. So we have to really give this the respect it deserves. Give it the podcast on its own. We're going to do a bit of Marseille afterwards. But let's just begin with this. Shout out to everyone who's joined us. How we doing, Mary? We've got Darren again for this one. How we doing? Hey. This one I'll let you read.
Yeah, that's my mate. He's in there.
Jagger's just talking about Zverev, so we'll wait for that. We're not doing the men's right now. We're going straight on the women's. So without further ado, let's start with this. It's called the 2021 Dubai bracket, but obviously it's known as the Dubai Tennis Championships.
Yes, it is. Very prestigious event in Dubai. Going to be interesting. We've got quite a lot of top talent in this tournament as well. Seen a few decent tournaments, fairly stacked. Interesting to see how they're going to get on. Obviously, we had a very impressive winner in the last tournament. Petra Kvitova smashed Garbiñe Muguruza in the final in impressive fashion.
Crazy.
Hate to say, she was my winner of the tournament, and I had the final Muguruza Kvitova, but I still didn't win the bracket, which is I'm devastated with.
Wait, how did you not? Did someone else predict the same final?
I think I had George McCauley was above me, and there was one other person above him. So we'll go through those anyway later. We'll have a look at the last winners of the last brackets at the end.
Oh. There you go. I'll tilt my hat to you now, mate. There you go. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And as Midfield Maestro says, this is the first 1000 event of the year. We've already had a Grand Slam, but this is into the 1000s now.
Love that. Right. Shall we kick it off with the top quarter? Because I didn't have the actual draw preview to go through one by one, I've done it manually. You're probably going to see all my selections, but we'll go through little bit by bit. I've just done it in quarters so that we can just go down in little quarters, and then we'll have the semi-finals and the finals all together, just so that we can see all of those. I decided to compress them a little bit for you so we can have them all on one screen for a change, which if anything was a bonus, that's probably the only thing. so it's quite nice.
At least we know where we're going. Probably be more organised like this.
It might be. Maybe this is the future, mate. Maybe this is the future of the draw previews. Who knows?
So the first seed is, which is ridiculous, really. I wouldn't think it would be the first seed. It's Svitolina. She's not the best player in the draw for me. However, the rankings don't lie. She is the number 1 seed. Who's the number 2 seed? I forget now. Right at the bottom.
Right at the bottom is...
Let me get it up. So I've got it here, mate.
Pliskova.
So you've got, again, I think it's the same as the last tournament where there was both number 1 and number 2 seed.
Not the best 2 for me.
No. And they're 2 players where they're both getting buys, aren't they, through to the first round? But is it that deserving? I'm not so sure. But that's definitely for another podcast. I don't want to get into that now. Let's start straight off. And I can see you've got Svitolina. She's good. Well, sorry, I should start off with Wang. You got Wang going out, and that's the better of the 2 Wangs.
Apparently, there's already. I didn't even realize this when I was going through it. I was doing this literally just before the podcast, going, oh, who would I be picking? This one was already decided. Didn't have to do that one. That was the only one on there. All the others, I didn't even check to see who had won. So I might have just accidentally put somebody through who's already out. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I've somehow luckily picked some winners in there. I'm hoping. So
Wang, she had a good second set though. Wang 6-1. What happened?
I know.
Fell away. Dominated in one set, and then the other 2 just out by a break. However, she's not through. So you got Svitolina to beat Kuznetsova in the next round. Yeah, I can't say I disagree with that.
Yeah, I think that she's obviously the stronger of the 2 players. She's the younger of the 2 players, I believe, as well. Kuznetsova's still doing well to be up there, but for me, Svitolina's beaten her in the last 3 times they've played, so I think it's going to be more of the same.
I agree.
So moving on down, we've got one of the favourites of the podcast. We've got the Tig, mate. The Tig's in. The Tig's against Ostapenko, though, mate. And Ostapenko, she looked pretty good in that last tournament, I have to say. She was actually, well, you had her going quite far, didn't you, in that tournament?
Yeah, I think she was my only saving grace, really, in the last bracket. The only thing I really could clutch onto, it was any good. Ostapenko played well. But here, it's a tricky draw for her. I think she'll get through the Tig. I don't know if you're going to scroll down slightly.
Oops, sorry, mate. Yeah, no problem.
She got through the Tig, but then aside from that, mate, Sakari. I think we've both got her doing quite well in this side of the bracket. It really does look tasty for her. And she's a dangerous girl in the early rounds. She seems to always come up against someone pretty good in like the quarters and gets knocked out. So for me, she needs to sort of bridge the gap between beating sort of, I don't want to be harsh, but nobody's, to then beating people who are a bit higher ranked in the rankings, a bit more experience in the latter stages of big events. She struggles against them players, and that's where she's got the ability, needs to change her mentality slightly.
Yeah, I think so. For me, the Sakari Ostapenko, if that is the match which does formulate there, I thought it could be an interesting one if Ostapenko turns up. You never know which one's going to turn up, obviously. She turned up against Mertens and absolutely blitzed her off the court, and then she lost in straight sets to Pegula, but Pegula's been on a bit of a storm, and she's at the bottom of this draw. I think that she could go far in this tournament. You will see how far I've put her through in this tournament.
Well, it's a shame with Pegula in the last one that she was a qualifier, so we didn't really know where she was going to sit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would have had her going far in the last. But anyway, let's go down because I know this is a big draw.
Yeah,
I don't want to take too long because obviously we're going to be here forever doing this.
So, yeah, let's move on down. We've got Krajicova. Well, we've both got Sakari going through. Both got Sakari going through against Ostapenko, I believe. Is that correct for you?
Sakari, yeah. I've got Sakari going. That's what I'm saying. I've got Sakari doing quite well. Here against the qualifier, I think Madison Keys goes out. I think she's going to go out first round again. Not been impressed with her. She's wins some matches here and there. I'm not sure who the qualifier is going to be yet, but I think if she gets a good qualifier, say one of the better qualifiers, she goes out.
Maybe.
I know you've got her going quite far. Siegmund, I reckon she'll beat Potapova. I think Siegmund then probably go out. The qualifier, if she's beating Keys, probably goes through again. It's hard to say because I don't know who the qualifier is going to be, but I did see some names when I was having a look through, and some of the qualifiers. Let me see if I can quickly get them up.
Like Begu, you got Sabalenko, Martinkova.
There was one which I saw and I thought,
Zavatska.
Dangerous. Who's the dangerous one? The real good one? Kanepi. There we go. Kai Kanepi. Say Kai Kanepi, Madison Keys. It's Kanepi's all day long. And it's a shame because we don't know where Kanepi's going to fall in the draw, but just watch out. Actually, no. Do we know where she probably we do know right now.
I'm not sure if they've updated it, so it's not on. It's not on Flash, mate. So
that's a shame. Oh well.
yeah.
Regardless, just watch out for Kanepi. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely watch out for Kanepi. Just no one's going to want to play her out of any of those people playing qualifiers. But I've got Keys going through. I've got Sigmund beating Potapova. I don't think that's even a foregone conclusion. I think that Potapova could win that. But Sigmund, I've been impressed with her this year so far. So I think she's going to go through. But if Keys plays her best tennis, she should be able to get through both of these rounds. Moving on down, all Russian affair. Make sure it actually is not like the last time.
Yeah, I agree with you though. There, Pavlyuchenkova. I think she's going to do quite well in this little section.
Do you think?
No, sorry, Kudamentova. I mean,
Kudamentova,
I read the wrong name. But yeah, I agree with what you've done.
Yeah,
I think she's going to do all right in this section. Even beating Bencic, I've got the same outcome there.
So, and then we'll come up to the next section once we move on. I've actually got Kudamentova to beat Madison Keys.
Yeah, same as me, mate. I've got her going relatively far in this little portion. However, it's going to be against Sakari, and for me, because obviously wasn't able to do the draw. What I did before this podcast, I just picked my 4 semi-finalists. So if we just go through them as well while we're doing it. So my number one, right at the top, then you're going to have that's a quarterfinal, I believe. Isn't it? Sakari, Kudamentova, and then I'm going to have Sakari. She's going to be my number one semi-finalist from the top. And I believe you've gone for the exact same, but we'll find out a bit of that in a minute.
Yeah, you'll find out mine. You'll find out mine on this tab here when we get to it. So
also, we've got another match going on right now. We've got Cerundolo playing.
Mate.
Cerundolo playing Schwartzman. Obviously,
got some people in the Twitch wishing we were doing a watch along for that rather than doing this.
Well, unfortunately, we can't really do. We've got so much planned at the moment, and it's a bit tricky right now for me because I've got my girlfriend visiting, and it's more timing more than anything. If I would love to be able to do as much podcasting and tennis coverage as possible, and I'm sure, and not just that, Ben's working on a lot as well behind the scenes. We're both working quite hard to bring something super exciting to the channel next week, hopefully. So just keep in mind that there's a lot else going on. And we would love to do. We're going to be able to do more tennis coverage after this is finished, hopefully.
Exactly. Schwartzman is actually 3-love up already in this
double break
set
as well. And Cerundolo, let's just give him praise. He's got to the final. I'm so happy. I was saying it the whole time as well. I'm just so disappointed I didn't put him in the bracket to go to the final. I think it was. Did we know where he was placed as well? I think we did with him.
I'm not sure if we did we?
No, we didn't with him. We knew where his brother was. Right?
Yeah. I think
we knew the brother, but not him, which was a bit disappointing. Because if we knew where he was, I feel like I would have probably, me, mate. I'm a bit of a lover. I'm someone who goes with a heart a lot of the time. So if I followed my heart there, I'd have had Cerundolo probably winning it. To be fair.
Well, we wait and see. He could still come back. It's only one. It's only the start. But we're not here to talk about Cerundolo. We're here to talk about the women's. So we'll move on to the next quarter of the draw. Let's say.
Yep.
And I've got. My girl,
there she is. You're obsessed with her, aren't you?
I know, mate. I've done a dangerous thing that I've done on this quarter of the draw.
Mate, it's a shame Bai can't play because I reckon Kvitova would have gone out first round.
Mate,
because you know how it goes. Wins a tournament straight out, and she's got a tricky one, I think, straight off the bat. Potentially Badoza or Teichmann. Tricky one. I actually agree. I go with Teichmann as well.
I've only went Teichmann just because Badoza went quite far in the last tournament she had. And the only reason I've gone Kvitova is she got a bye in the first round. She's got a little bit of break.
That's true.
That's the only reason. I'm sort of riding her a bit hard as well because I think that
she's not been letting you down. So
she did well for me in the last tournament, so I'm sticking with it. But I know that how easily they can just suddenly change that form. But sticking with Kvitova, I think she's going to go through against Teichmann in the second round. Then we go down. We got Ons Jabeur versus Catalina Cineakova. We're big Jabeur fans, mate. We're so predictable, I feel, with some of these selections. But apparently that's already played.
Did Jabeur win?
Yeah, Jabeur won straight sets. So there you go. There's one of the ones. The actual scores of the sets was 6-2, 6-3. Okay. So fairly comfortable.
So I'm a bit stuck here now because I'm looking at it here and there's some really top players. For me, the ones who jump out, Kvitova, Jabeur, Rybakina, no offense to Teichmann, but they're the real big ones. And there's some big players there. I actually had Jabeur leading this whole quarter. However, looking at it now, I'm sort of edging towards Rybakina. And the reason for that is, I know she's not been playing well. Form can go out the window sometimes with women's, and we know how good she can be. I believe last year as well, I wasn't sure, but I think she got to the final of this one. Was this the one she did really well and went on a storming run? I know it was certainly
against Halep, I think, in the semi-finals, I think.
I think she got to the final, mate. Was it not the final? Regardless, she had a very good. She had a very, very good run, and she was super impressive. So, in fact, I'm actually going to change my pick. Not that I'm only telling you that because I didn't have to tell you because I've not even said it. But I'm going to go Rybakina to beat Ons Jabeur and then Kvitova as well.
Wow, well, Rybakina.
Yeah, Rybakina.
I thought you were talking about Ons Jabeur going far in this tournament.
No, Rybakina did very well as well. I know. I know what you're talking about. Ons Jabeur did as well. They both did, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that was going to be an epic matchup. I think.
I think whoever wins that one will beat Kvitova.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Rybakina hasn't played her match yet, so
she'll probably go out and that'll ruin my life.
Yeah, well, the biggest news at the moment is Sakari is 5-1 down to Krejcikova. So this is throwing our brackets already into disarray at the top. So it's a bit sad to see. Anyway, we'll move on down. Moving on down. So we've got who's this? Vondrousova, mate. She's back again. Marketa. And she'll be playing Corey Goff in the next round because Corey Goff actually got past Alexandrova in 3 sets.
Oh, wow.
Good. I think you would have picked her anyway. Know what you're like with your Corey Goff.
Yeah, I'd have had, Michael there, he's talking about the match. I didn't see it. And he was saying Coco almost blew a big lead.
Really?
So she definitely is showing a bit of fragility. I don't want to be too harsh on her, though. I think a lot of people are. She's young. She's improving. I still believe in her massively. And I think she's dangerous. You see it in all of my bracket selections. Ben calls me crazy. He calls me deluded. I have Corey Goff reaching finals all the time. Never happens, but one day I'm going to get it right. And here, I'm not favouring her as much as I usually would because I don't have her lead in this little section. As I said before, for me, it's either Ons Jabeur or Rybakina.
Well, I think this 1 second, mate, just deserves a little bit of publicity. Just so I'm just going to reshare part of the third set here. This is what they're talking about. So if we go down here, you see at 5-4, there was 4 match points for Corey Goff. Moving on down. Sorry, I'll zoom in a bit so everyone can see a little bit clearer. So there you can see the 4 match points there for Corey Goff at 5-4. We go down into the tiebreak. She actually had a match point against her. Then she had another match point. Then another match point against her. And then she finally took it on the 6th match point. Wow.
That looks like a painful one. And Michael, they're saying she was also 4-love up in the third. Is that right?
Well, let's have a look. Well, she was
4-1 up.
4-1 up. So that's just one break. But yeah, 5-1 there. No, 5-1.
5-1.
So yeah, she did. She pretty much threw it all away, then got right at the last second, got all the match points. Seemed like it was being given back to her. Well, pretty crazy anyway.
That'd have been a good one for the watch along.
Yeah, man. I think that was one that if you were betting on it, you've probably pulled all of your hair out by now. Let's move back to the actual draw anyway. That was quite interesting seeing that. I'm not sure. I'm so sure of Corey Goff pick now. Seeing that.
Well, she's won, mate. I don't know. I think she can beat Vondrousova.
Well, right now I'm reconsidering a little bit, but let's stick with it. I've gone with Corey Goff to beat Vondrousova. She might be. Some people saying she's overhyped. Don't know. Not so sure. I think she is all the hype, to be honest. I think that she's warranted it. She's still young.
Mary's saying it was 6 match points she had in total.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, like you said, you've got her beating Bert, or you've got Bertins going for a little bit. That's nice to see.
Yeah, only a little bit.
So then let's see the end of this bit. So you've got Corey Goff heading this bit, and at the top you've got, was it Kvitova?
Yeah.
So who's going to win out of them two? Oh, no. Sorry, we're going to go down in a minute. We'll find out soon.
Coming soon. We'll go to the next section. We got Igor Savantek, or Savantek. She's up against no one in the first round, so she's going through. And then in the second round, I've got Hercog going out to a qualifier. It could be Kanepi, so could quite easily be going out. Hercog, for me, is hot and cold for me. I think she could easily go out and have a bad day at the office. I got Savantek going through against the qualifier as well. Moving on down, we got Anisimova up against the qualifier. Depends which qualifier, but if it's one of the lesser ones, I think Anisimova will make it through comfortably.
Mate, I think the big one here I need to talk to you about is Savantek Muguruza, and you're going to have Savantek beating her.
Mate, see, got to make some big calls in this life. But this is one of the big calls I'm making. Muguruza just been to the final of a tournament, obviously. We obviously had Swiatek. She just won a tournament as well, didn't she, I believe?
Yeah, she has, yeah.
She just won one, but I think it was days before. So I think she's had more time to recover.
And she played very well as well in that one. It was very dominant. Similar to her French Open. Obviously, entering her first Grand Slam, just smashed the field apart. This one, the tournament as well. When she wins very comfortably.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I've got the same combination. I think, no offense to any of the other players there, I think it's Savantek, Muguruza. They're going to be playing, I believe. I really do strongly feel like it's built for them to be playing. And if they do, I've gone the other way, mate. I think Muguruza's experience, the way she's been playing. I know Kvitova in the final, that was really disappointing, but there was a statistic I saw which was shocking. I needed to share with you, actually. And it's Kvitova in finals. It's one of the best players there is on the women's tour. And people underrate her so much because when she's in the big moments, she's one of the best players there is. She just rises to the occasion. Her tennis gets better. I forget exactly the numbers, but it was something like 70% in finals, 72%. It sort of blew me away. I'm sure you can have a look on Twitter or online, but she's just someone who can deal with the big moments better than everyone, it seems. And that's why she's had such a long career. You've got to remember, Kvitova is a name in women's tennis. I feel like we've been saying it for ages.
Yeah.
Well, it's decades, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, she's been around. She's been around the block. Sorry to say that, Petra, but she has. Yep. She's been at the top of the game for, well, as long as I can remember tennis. I think it's just crazy. She was like so good. When she obviously won Wimbledon back in 2011. Think of that. That's 10 years ago. She was still at the top of the game back then. So she obviously won Wimbledon twice, 2014 as well. So,
yeah, here we go. Michael's giving me some stats here. Petra on fire, can beat just about anyone. I believe she has been in 38 finals and won 28.
Whoa,
which for me, I'm sorry, her final record is just incredible.
That is ridiculous.
Midfield Maestro saying she's still only 30. Is that real? Is she only 30?
Mate, I think it's around that figure.
What a beast. What a beast. What a player.
And
I saw her with her trophy as well, counting. I forget how many trophies and how many titles she's won now. She's just a beast and just always going to be remembered as a legend in tennis. Hopefully, one day there can be something to sort of remember her by, whether it's the tournament, a stadium. I feel like something needs to be named after her because she's been really iconic in the sport. People can say Serena Williams and all these other big people who win a few more Grand Slams than her. However, Kvitova, for me, is an exciting player and someone who definitely deserves a lot of praise.
Well, I think that we should wish her.
30 years old.
I think we should wish her an early happy birthday because it's tomorrow. Petra Kvitova is 31 tomorrow. So happy birthday, Petra, for tomorrow. Hope you have a good one and get a good win in this tournament. That would really be a good birthday present for her. So
yeah, and Ellis Fire is asking if we spoke about Clara Tolson. We will be talking about it shortly. Let's just get through this draw because it's another remarkable story. Up there with the Serendolos. We're probably going to do a podcast with her in the title and dedicate the first 15 minutes to talking about her because on this podcast, A Game to Love, we love promoting these exciting young players who people don't really know too much about. But one thing I will say is credit to a lot of the GTL people in the chat and the fans in the bracket league. There was a few people who picked her to win, which I just want to give a big shout out, who had her even going to the final. So they're probably a lot more knowledgeable than what me and Ben are.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't have her at the start, but when you were asking me on the last one who you thought was going to be in the final, I think I was confident that she was the way she's been playing.
She's really that good. And she's going to be now 96 in the world, which is amazing.
Oh, fantastic. Love to see breaking that top 100. It's only good things can come when you get inside that top 100. The pressure goes on, but she looks like she's one who can handle it, if I'm honest. Yep. So let's move on down this draw anyway. So we've got...
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's so much tennis news. Not to mention midfield maestro. Thomas Machak won another challenger as well. We saw that and that was amazing. I kind of thought he was going to win, I must admit. I know we've been both very. We keep sharing each other like the results he does every day. And is he going to do it again? Is he going to do it again? And he keeps doing it. But we'll talk about that after as well. Sorry, I'm not getting distracted anymore.
Yeah, mate, come on. This is all about
Babos. Kontaveit Babos. You got Kontaveit.
Yeah, your favourite, Sorana Cirstea. She's
I'll be picking the qualifier 7.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I'm sick of her, mate. I had her winning the whole tournament last time, and she went out in the first round.
Shocking choice, really.
She got called, I think.
Mate, well, I don't know what you were thinking with that. Winning the whole tournament. Come on. Kontaveit, I've got going through against Cirstea in the second round. Then we've got Elise Cornet versus Daria Kasatkina or Kasatkina. I can never get that name right. God forbid. Right.
Just break it down. Kasatkina.
I should have put Cornet through so I didn't have to say it again.
I think Cornet beats her, but
anyway. I'm going with Kasatkina to go through. So that's fantastic. I think she's been playing really well. I think Elise Cornet's been playing quite a bit more tennis. So I think that she might be a little bit more fatigued. I think that could benefit her. I think she's dangerous, mate. Elise Cornet, I don't know. You'll always see in brackets. I'll always put her through these early rounds. I'm just a bit of a fan of her. Well, for me, I don't think either of them are going to go any further. I think Sabalenka is going to hopefully be back to her best. We saw her, obviously.
Maestro, Kasatkina's lost already. So there we go. Cornet's done it. So I've got some points there at least. That's handy.
At least I don't have to say her name again. There you go. So she's already out. There you go. So that's what I mean. I made these picks just before the podcast. I didn't have a chance to even look who was even through. But it's fine. She's out. Cornet's through. I still have Sabalenka to beat her. I think she's going to have been well rested. She obviously lost to Muguruza in the last tournament. She's going to be up against Kontaveit. I think that she's stronger than Kontaveit. She makes the quarterfinal against.
She's playing Kontaveit. I agree there. It's going to be really tricky. I'm going to then have Muguruza versus Sabalenka there. You've got Savantek, Sabalenka. And this time I think Sabalenka's beating her. So I'm going to have Sabalenka heading this little pack. And she's going to be my winner, sort of coming from this third quarter.
We have to wait and see for my ones. Anyway, we'll go on to the last quarter of this draw. Oh, I'll move all the way to the top. We've got Azarenka. She's back in here again. And then we've got an interesting first round match. Kerber Garcia. Caroline.
Well, will Azarenka play? Does anyone know if she's played already or if she's going to play? She obviously pulled out for the last one for an injury. I think she was playing. I forget exactly what happened, but she's not at her full health. There's no doubts about it. And that's why I'm a bit reluctant to put Azarenka through that far, to be fair. You've got Kerber here. There's some stacked players. Shelby Rogers, Fiona Ferrer, Elise Mertens. This is a really good section of the draw. I think Azarenka's going to get stuck. I think she'll get through maybe the first one of Kerber or Garcia. Elise Mertens or Rogers, though, I think that's the end of the line for her. And I think we've gone for the same kind of feeling here in terms of I couldn't have written that any better than what you have. I think Fiona Ferrer, Elise Mertens, that's a really good tie. Ferrer, obviously, she was the finalist, wasn't she, in Lyon? Is that right?
Yeah, she was. Unfortunately, she didn't. She wasn't successful. I think it was it Golubic, I believe, was the winner there.
Yeah.
So, but Ferro was my finalist there. I picked Ferro to win it. But,
no, mate, you've done really well in the brackets. I must admit. Well, I think we'll see afterwards how much. Yeah. Well, you're tonking me for a start, but you're also doing pretty well against some of the other members in the GTL league. So, mate, hats off to you. You're doing some good research clearly, and it's paying off. Or maybe you just pick it. You're getting lucky.
Hey, you've got a bit of luck.
I think it's the second one.
Got to ride a little bit of luck on these brackets. I tell you. Oh, there you go.
Then, sorry, that's it. With Vika had a back problem last time. I said, so she's very injured, and that's why I'm a bit reluctant to put her through many. I think she'll get through the first one, but then even a Shelby Rogers or Elise Mertens, I think they're going to be too strong, or maybe even a Fiona Ferrer.
Well, yeah, I think Elise Mertens. We haven't seen her in the last tournaments. I think
she's also been carrying an injury as well, but I think she's going to be fully recovered now. She's had enough time to practice and get sort of fully fit again. So I'm going to have Elise Mertens heading this little bit as well. And she's going to be... Do you want to go back down to the bottom bit?
Yeah, for sure. And we've got Martic, Madlenovic. I'm going to go with Martic. I think she might be a fresher. Madlenovic, she was just playing in a tournament. Wasn't like massively impressed with her performances in the last tournament, if I'm honest. She lost to Badoza in 3. She beat Gasparian and is it Buzarnescu? Yeah. So and the last time they both played on hard court, Martic has cleaned up straight sets. So that sort of made my decision for me.
For me, I'm going to have something a bit different to what you've got. I think Bernarda Pera beats Sevastova. Pera then is going to be playing potentially Pegula. Oh, she lost.
I think she's already out. Yeah. I think that's one of the ones I've
lost that one.
Yeah, 6-love, 6-3.
Well, that just shows you. So there we go. That's why whatever I say, go for the opposite. So I would have had Pera. Don't put me saying it really, but I would have had her. So that would have been lost points. And then in the next round, probably who's playing? I can't see, mate. Pliskova. Yeah, no, I'd vote Pliskova probably going through. Pegula as well in that same little bit, and then Pegula probably. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, mate. To be fair, I think Pegula is not a bad little section of the draw.
No, I like it for her. I really do.
She's got a little run in. We know how well she's been playing. Obviously, had a good Australian Open. She did very well in the last tournament as well. Didn't seem to be too fatigued. Went through qualifiers as well prior to that. It's quite refreshing that she was given a main draw into this one and doesn't have to go through the qualifiers, because I think that would have been a bit troublesome.
I think the big thing to really pick up on as well, she just played Karolina Pliskova in the last tournament and beat her 6-3, 6-1. So that's my reasoning for going for her again. She's playing in Shadova. I think she's going to be stronger than her. I think she can beat Martic as well. No offense to Martic. I think Pegula is just one of these people who's going to be getting latter stages of a lot of hardcourt tournaments.
Mate, she just needs the seed in now. That's it. I think it's a matter of time until she gets a good seed, because she's going to be picking up good results and progressing through tournaments. So then this is right at the bottom. So Pegula versus the quarterfinals. Who you got right at the top?
So I've got Pegula Mertens.
And this is exactly the same as mine. So that's good. I think it sort of picks itself if you want to be, if you don't want to be too out there. I'm sure there will be some people with maybe a Ferro or Rogers or something a bit very out there. However, if you're being honest and realistic, it's probably going to be them two. And then I have Mertens to progress and not Pegula.
Well, we'll see my semi-finals, and you'll probably see all of my results now as I click this one. Well, we'll see. We've got the top. I've got Kvitova and Corey Goff in the top.
Wow, Corey Goff. So your first semi-finalist right at the top is Corey Goff.
I think that this is where Kvitova's steam runs out, because she just won a tournament. That was the only reasoning for that. I think it's a bit of a crazy one. Like I said, there's going to be some crazy selections in here.
For me, it was Onstra or Rybakina. I was going to be playing Kvitova. I keep changing my mind between the two. Oh, sorry. I didn't go all the way to the top. So we got Maria Sakari, Kudamentova. Did you have the same one for that? Yeah, I've got exactly the same. But Sakari, I think she's under a bit of fire. Someone was saying, she's down. She lost the first set 6-2 and down 2-love. So I'm going to be honest, though. I went for Sakari too. So I'm going to stick with Sakari. Hopefully she comes back from that. Doesn't look great. But regardless, some people are saying, I think saw someone in the chat saying Sakari is very overrated table tennis. I don't think she is. She's a very good player. Maybe we have overrated her in the past, and right now it looks like we definitely have, because she looks like she could be going out first round. However, she's a quality player. I do believe that.
I think it's another great player, though. Another great player that I'm always talking up, and I didn't go for, which is Krejcikova, another great Czech player. So I'm not surprised. That for me, it's just for some of these tournaments, it's a decision. You're going to see that.
I think in women's more so. At the end of the day, it's who's better on the day. Like Krejcikova has got all the ability to beat a lot of players on the tour. Like Kudamentova, she could beat a lot of these as well. Like there's so many. I think that's what makes it really exciting to watch. The men's can be slightly more predictable. The women's is a bit more open. You can look at it how you want. I personally think it's more exciting like that.
Well, it's tough to pick, because there's always like a matchup in the first round where you could see one of the two players who are playing each other going quite far. So if you automatically put one of them all the way through and they lose, then your whole bracket's screwed. So this is what happens so often, and this is what might be happening right now, because Krejcikova's got another break point to go 3-love. So
regardless, I'll stick with what I had. So Sakari, I was thinking my gut. Well, I was 50-50. Rybakina or Onstra. I'm going to go with Onstra. I know I've said about 3 different opinions on this podcast already, but I think it's better if I stick with the ones I've written down here. And that is Sakari, Onstra, beating Kvitova. Do you want to go down to the bottom 2 semi-finalists?
Yeah, sure. So
you have... Oh, this is huge, mate. This is big. Not for me. I think Sabalenka beats Savantek there. This is where she goes out. Actually, no, I don't have Savantek. I've got Muguruza. I've got Sabalenka, Muguruza, and Sabalenka beats her.
Really? What? She gets her revenge from the last tournament. But for me, I think that Savantek is getting better all the time, and I think you need to be worried if you're some of these other women on the tour, because she's now translating that clay court form over onto the hard courts, and she's a power player. So if you're not firing, Sabalenka's not firing, she'll probably wipe her off the court as well. And I think everyone be worried, because I think that she could be a future world #1, Savantek.
Oh, that's big praise, mate. But I kind of agree. I really do. I'm a massive admirer of her. I love her persona as well. Someone after the match, if you listen to her on court, super interesting, enthusiastic about the game, great attitude, humble, hardworking as well.
Motivated as well, so motivated, and just like winning.
For a young girl, I've got not one bad word to say about her. And in fact, I'm a huge fan of her. I really do like her, and I want her to do well. I think she's going to have a few stumbling blocks being so young. She can't keep blitzing tournaments the way she has been, and that's why I'm going to be going Sabalenka to beat Muguruza here. I don't even have her in this stage, to be fair.
No worries, but it's one of those things though. You never know. The women's game is hard to predict. And we've got Elise Mertens here versus Pegula.
Oh, Pegula! He's definitely on the hype train here now. I wasn't sure you Pegula going that far. So your 4 semi-finalists: Savantek, Pegula at the bottom, right at the top, Corey Goff, Sakari. So he's got 2 Americans,
all the youngsters, mate.
1 Greek who's on the verge of going out. So do I. However, I'm not going to be picking the Greek to be advancing from the top. I'm actually going to be having Onstra. So Onstra is my finalist. She's going to beat Sakari. Well, probably not Sakari. It will be probably someone else. Might be Krajcikova.
Might be Kudamentova, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm going to be having that. I'm going to have Onstra as my top finalist.
So I've got Corey Goff, which is a big ask after her performance.
That's handy. It would have been embarrassing if it was Sakari.
Mate, I don't know. I think that's the only thing that's sort of maybe saving me right now. But it's not even an official bracket. But still, I would like to do well. Moving down, Savantek versus Pegula, I have on the bottom. Who do you have? You have Sabalenka versus
Mertens.
Mertens. Who have you gone with?
So I've got Mertens to beat Pegula. I've got the same bottom of you, but Mertens will win.
Yeah.
This one, I don't think I actually wrote this one down here, to be fair. So I'll have to pick this now. I'm going to go Sabalenka. So I'm going to be seeing a Sabalenka Onstra final.
Ooh, Onstra. I've gone with Savantek to win that, and then we have a final.
You've got for a real young final, that one.
Yeah,
that's
imagine
huge.
that.
You've got Savantek going all the way and winning the event. Fair play.
This is why I'm riding her hard here, mate. But
I understand why. I'll tell you why. I'll give you a bit of praise for what you've done. For Savantek to get all the way to the semi-final or quarter-final, say, I think she's going to then potentially win it, because we know how she is as a girl. It seems to be she goes out maybe early rounds, or if she's got confidence, she's firing.
Yeah.
I think Michael sums it up nicely. Igor's so dominant when she's playing well. She will blitz past people. She'll be having plenty of rest. She'll be beating people 6-love, 6-1. She's got that in her locker. So if she's got this far, mate, I think it's a good pick. If she's in the quarterfinals, you've got a really good shot. I think she's probably the favourite,
mate,
regardless of who she's playing, because when she's on form, she looks so dangerous.
Scary.
Like Serena Williams when she was just firing it up. You know she's getting to the latter stage of an event. You kind of know she's going to win.
You got to be in fear of someone like her if you're playing her. She's quite tall. She's got a good serve. She's just got the power play, and she doesn't hold back either. She's not scared, even if she's not hitting every single one. She would still keep going for it. But she's more calculated than some of these other like loose cannons on the women's tour. She has got something real special. She's 19 years old. Just the future's so bright for her. I just hope that this is more hoping as well, because I want to see her as the big next figure in women's tennis. I think taking over the women's game. I think she's got all the tools. I just want to see her take it to the hard courts, and then hopefully we can see her start dominating some of the hard court Grand Slams. Not seen it yet, but I think it just takes time. She's already got one Grand Slam already. I think there's more to come.
Looks very good on clay, so watch out for the French Open again. I think she could be trying to take her crown back.
Yeah,
watch out for her. However, I've not given my winner. I've got Sabalenka Onstra in the final. I'm going to go Sabalenka. I think she's going to win the whole thing. We saw how well she started the year. She's sort of fallen off a little bit since. Serena Williams had her rattled in the Australian Open. I just don't know. I'm going to go for Sabalenka to return to win in Dubai, and that's my pick.
Fair enough, mate. Nice work. Nice work. Let us know.
I'll give a dark horse as well because we've not done the dark horses. I'll give a dark horse as Pegula. That's my dark horse of the tournament.
It's a good one, mate.
You could probably have Savantek, mate. It's your dark horse, mate.
Probably have to have Corey Goff, mate, because
you've probably got Savantek. She's not seeded, is she?
Well, she can't be. She can't be my winner and my dark horse. But yeah, that's where I mean. You see my final. If both of them get anywhere close, I'm going to be happy. To be honest.
Thomas Rock, obviously a big Sabalenka fan. I'm doing it for you, mate, as well. I'm on the Saba train.
Yeah, mate. Well, I hope that everybody does well. I just hope for some good tennis. It's all you can really hope for in these tournaments. In this, still no fans there. Would be nice if we can eventually get some back in there at some point, just to make these tournaments come to life again.
Michael Walker and Igor and Osaka competing for who can win the most majors with fewest tournament wins. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? They seem trying to be playing for the big events. These two.
They do indeed. Should we go? I know that I'm conscious of the time. Should we try and flick over to some of the other brackets? Which was the other ones we're going through on this one? Was it Marseille?
So what we're going to do now is obviously we've got a lot of brackets to fill in. We're going to do the one in France. I think it's the Marseille event. It's actually got a snazzy name as well. It's called the let me just get it up. It's called the Open 13 Provence.
Oh, Provence.
So let's go over to France, and we'll also be doing another 3 draw previews later on tonight. We're going to do it all in one podcast. They're a bit smaller draws. Obviously, it's not a big WTA 1000 or a Masters event on the men's. So we're going to be able to put them all together, hopefully do it before they all close, and we'll get them done later on. So let's just make this one quite a quick one because it's only a small draw. It's very similar to the last tournament we had in... was it Rotterdam in terms of some of the players? I think the seeding's a bit similar.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, a little bit similar. Yeah, you got Medvedev's back in this one yet again. But I'll bring it up anyway, and we can... I think
it's a really good field, to be fair. It's going to be a really exciting one to cover, no doubt. So, hopefully, you can do that one with us right now. If you want to enter the bracket, I'll share the link to anyone who wants to. It's also in the description if you don't want to... If you're not in the live chat, I'll just share it anyway. So you have to put your email address. It's completely free, and you can put your selections in, compete against me and Ben. We'll be giving prizes for the winners and just a bit of bragging rights, really, to see how well you can predict the upcoming tennis events. But there we go. Number 1 seed, Daniel Medvedev. Number 2 seed, right at the bottom. I think it's Tsitsipas again.
Is that right? Let me just double check. I'll have to go into the
memory, mate. I can do it, mate.
Yeah, it is Tsitsipas.
Cool.
So... yeah, I was going to say people who are wanting to maybe hear about some of the tournament winners, things like that, we'll probably be doing a separate podcast other than the draw previews to give those guys a little bit more coverage because we can't just really just give them like a couple of like seconds of chat. We're going to probably do another podcast just to cover.
I think maybe Monday or something we'll do one with speaking about
Rublev and Torsen,
Rublev, Francisco Cerundolo, although he looks like he could be losing against Schwartzman. But there's a lot of really cool players to be talking about. We'll do a podcast Monday, rounding all of that up for sure, or if not Tuesday. But in the meantime, let's go through some of the draws for these ones because probably what you're tuning in for. Medvedev, what's he going to do this week?
Hopefully he doesn't turn his back on the court because it didn't work too well for him last week. He was playing back to front, it seems, the Octopus.
Really good players in this draw, I must admit. Really good players.
Octopus had his legs tangled up, I think, in the last one. So, for me, I think he should hopefully be back. For this one, it was a bit tricky to pick. I went Hanfman to beat Gerasimov. Not sure why I went with that, but this was all done because I was worried that all the tournaments were going to starting, so I started picking all my brackets.
So with this, just so you want to know, there's some qualifiers going on tomorrow, I believe. And you've got Lestien Diaz, Rindernet Krezi, Borje Ebden, Molkan Golbis. So there's some really good players still to watch out for. I think the big one there for me could be a Golbis returning. Watch out. Or Krezi, he's dangerous. Rindernet in France, another one.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Diaz, he can win. He can beat anyone on his day. I know he knocked out
anyone.
He beat Troitsky, mate. He beat Troitsky to get here. So he's
I'm
a
not
bit
sure
dangerous.
about anyone, though.
Mate, Stevie D can do it. He can beat anyone.
Slice will probably love you for saying that.
He can beat Nadal. It's fine.
Bigging up the Canadians. Yeah, well, I've got Hanfman beating Gerasimov. I know that's a bit of a big ask I've given him there, but I thought, come on, we've had Yannick on the podcast. Got to rep the GTL boys.
I've not gone for that, mate. So I'm going to just go through some of mine. So I've got Gerasimov. I then got Denis Novak to beat Gaston, and then Sinner to beat Barrera.
Yep.
So then I'm going to be having Sinner advanced against Novak. I'm going to have Medvedev beating Gerasimov. So then I'm going to be seeing a Medvedev-Sinner matchup, which is going to be huge. Yep. And this, to me, is pivotal towards the tournament. I think who wins this match is a really good tournament. Maybe because I'm biased. Obviously, I'm half Italian. I love Yannick Sinner. Medvedev as well, I'm a big fan of. So it's really tricky for me to pick. However, do you want me to tell you who I went for?
Come on, now. You mine. I can't.
It's safe. I went Daniel Medvedev.
Huh?
I went for Medvedev.
I can't. Well, I can't change mine.
Sinner. Wow. I think this is where I think we're going to see a few people pick different options. Medvedev's been a bit disappointing of late, I must admit. However, let's not remember he's won 20 matches in a row before he's lost. Only losing in the final this straight over against Novak Djokovic. So he's going to find a bit of form again. He doesn't even need to fight. He's got the form still. Things pulled together for him.
My reasoning behind that is I think his January slump has moved around a month. And I think that now it's going to be like you saw it happen against Lajovic, lost in straight sets. I think that he can get past someone like a Hanfman or Gerasimov, maybe comfortably. I think Sinner might be too much for him. If he's not on his game again, I think Sinner wins.
Yeah, mate. Let's just see what happens. We're going to be going head to head. I think that's going to really decide our brackets, to be fair, because some of these down here, I'm pretty confident we're going to have very similar selections. And I think, well, apart from the McDonald one, because you know me, Travaglia, there's no chance you can put anyone up there, mate. I'm always going to be going Travaglia early rounds. So I've got Khachanov, obviously. He's got the bye. He's been looked really good in that last tournament. He went out to Tsitsipas, I believe.
Yeah, close one.
He played well. I was watching the match. I thought I was really impressed with the way he was playing. Khachanov, for me, something we need to really mention is the fact that how far he's sort of fallen off from what he was playing like in, say, 2018, 2019. Yep. He seemed to be beating a lot of top players. Who's he beaten since? It's a big question, but he can't seem to beat any of the top 10. He seems to be a little bit off the pace, whereas before, I remember he gave Rafa Nadal a good match at the US Open, didn't he? I forget some of the other ones. He's given some really top players some scares. Djokovic, I believe, in one of the matches as well, he gave him a bit of a scare.
Yeah, he's got a long way back.
He had some good Masters wins, didn't he? But maybe he can refine his form. He looked a lot more encouraging against Tsitsipas, so just watch out for him. And he's got a relatively nice draw here because I think he beats Travaglia in the next one, or McDonald for your case. Then you've got Bonzi beating the qualifier. I'm going to have to agree as well.
Well, yeah, don't forget, obviously, McDonald, he won, wasn't it Challenger, wasn't it? In Astana, I think. It was over in Kazakhstan. But then he tried another Challenger straight away in Nur Sultan, and Thomas Mahach, mate, he was there, knocked him out. So Thomas Mahach went on to win that, though. So I just go with McDonald. I don't know. I always do this, and Travaglia always ruins my bracket. I don't know why I've done it again, but this was a very rapid fire choice.
He's ruined it yet again. And a big stat right at the top. Thanks for sharing this, Midfield Maestro. Is that last year Medvedev played Sinner in the same event, obviously in Marseille, and on that occasion, Sinner won the first set 6-1, and then Medvedev won 6-1, 6-1.
Interesting.
Second and third set. So he won the match. And Mary's saying it's interesting. Sinner said that the only match he didn't understand why he lost was his match against Medvedev in Marseille. It perplexed him. It had him rattled. record.
I'm sure he's going to be looking to get one back over on him because he's a better player than he was last year. And Medvedev had a little bit of a wobble in the last tournament, so he'll be looking to just sort of kick him while he's down, really. Eyes are going to be on Medvedev in that match a lot, and he's going to be under a lot of scrutiny. So that could play into Sinner's hands, I think. Let's move down. Okay, Benjamin Bonzi against the qualifier. The Bonds. Going with the Bonds.
Going to go for the Bonds. It's in France as well. Dangerous. Good player. Rusevori, yet again. These kind of pick itself, really, because their names I love. Travaglia, I'm always going to be picking him. Rusevori as well. Even Bonzi to a level. So this kind of picks itself. I've then got Khachanov, Rusevori, and this is where Rusevori falls. I know he was disappointing recently in a challenger. He lost to Troitsky very comfortably in straight sets. I watched that one as well. Not very good from him. Khachanov would have gone through here. So let's move down to the next quarter.
So we got Sinner, Khachanov up there.
I've gone for Russians at the top. I've got Medvedev, Khachanov.
Oh,
can't go against the Russians right now.
Well, it's there's no
your own peril, mate. Your own peril.
Well, it's one of those ones, isn't it? We got this one's we got Theodoru against Davidovich Fokina. I'm going Fokina.
That's not actually. I'm not sure. I think that might be Tsitsipas's brother, maybe, or something like that.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It is.
There's no Theodoro, is it? I've never heard of him.
No, I've never heard of him either. They're just throwing names in randomly.
I don't know why he's there. We can talk about that on another podcast. Why is Tsitsipas's brother getting all these wild cards to these events? No offense, because of his brother. Sometimes you've got to let the whole thing, just because of genes, there's got to be a level where players shouldn't be allowed in there. Because Petr Tsitsipas, for me, is not good enough.
No.
He's like 900th in the world or something. He's just not that good at
close
tennis.
To 1,000.
Like, no offense, it wound me up a little bit because I feel like we could see an exciting young player who actually has a chance of doing well in the tournament.
Even a lucky loser.
Yeah, anyone. He's going to go out first round. It'll be 6-1, 6-1 or something. And what's the point?
I can't wait for him to beat Davidovich Fokina now. Then we can play it. Maybe
his brother's ranked on 1,000. It winds me up. I can give quite a big rant about this, actually.
Oh, God, here we go.
It's because of his brother. It's just stupid. I don't understand why he's there.
Well, he's there.
Move on. Fokina, anyway. Fokina's winning, obviously.
Fokina Kukush.
Fokina beats Kukush.
Well, this one's a toughie. So Feliciano Lopez, Joe Wilfried Tsonga. I've gone with Lopez.
I knew you went with Lopez. I just knew it. So that's why I've gone for Tsonga. I've already put it in, mate. It's in the chamber.
This one's an interesting one. So up next, obviously, we've got the Kukush Fokina. I've gone with Fokina. And then we've got Lopez Humbert. I've gone with Humbert.
So I've got a French affair there in France. Tsonga Humbert. And there's a part of me would think Tsonga could beat Humbert. It's just a shame that we don't know how he is in terms of his body and how he's recovered from his injury.
Yeah.
In normal years, mate, I think we'd all be going Tsonga.
Yeah. We would.
We're
not in normal years.
We're not in normal years. Tsonga's going to take a set, but he's going to lose. Ugo Humbert advances. So we'll have Humbert Fokina.
Yep. Okay, and who have you got winning that?
I'm going to have to check because I want to say Fokina, but I think I played it safe, most likely. Yep, I put Humbert. So I've got Humbert to beat Fokina, but I would like to see Fokina win. And you've done it as well. That is the worst combination. I actually want Fokina to win, and I've got Fokina. So it's just like now I'm caught in my mind. I don't know what to happen. Just cancel the tournament.
Cancel the tournament. Yeah, so I've got Fokina beat. I think Humbert might just be a little bit fatigued. I think Fokina's been looking a little bit better than him in the previous one. So let's move on down. We've got Nishikori back in the business. He's up against Herbert. I reckon Nishikori. Interesting to hear about that last tournament as well. Apparently, he's changed some stuff with his coach, which is to do with his forehand. Apparently, he was having some shoulder issues. They've changed his swing. So now that's why he's back and he's actually not in pain playing. So it's really good to see.
And not just that, it's his serve as well. He's changed his serve around. I saw the same, must have been the same quotes, but a different passage where he's changed his serve. He feels a little bit more confident and he seems like he can be playing better tennis again. And I'm buying into it. I'm buying into the Kei Nishikori hype. Yep. I've got him beating Herbert and then Cam Norrie as well.
I haven't.
Okay, so you're not bought into it that hard.
No.
It sold me, mate. I was reading them. I was like, yeah, that's it. Nishikori's back. Watch out. People are saying Melez, JG evidently out of butt hurt cream from Steph beating Rafa. So I'm taking out Rafa. No, it's all right, mate. I think he's going to be going through. You put Tsitsipas going through and have the other one winning the whole tournament then.
Yeah, let's see it. I've got Norrie. I know that we've always been disrespecting Norrie and not putting him through far enough in tournaments. I'm going to put him through against Nishikori. Then he'll play for me to Tsitsipas. I don't think he's got qualifier versus Pui. I went with qualifier.
Tsitsipas surely should be fine there. I then have Tsitsipas versus Nishikori. Tsitsipas to advance that. So he's going to be my bottom semi-finalist. I think it picks himself. Tsitsipas has not got a bad draw in this one. A little bit easier than the last tournament where he had Ruby Rublev hunting him down.
Exactly, man. That wasn't easy. Lost in straight sets to Rublev, obviously. And went to 3 with Khachanov as well. So he didn't have it easy in that last tournament at all. Davidovich Fokina might fancy his chances there.
I've got Humbert, but I think Humbert Tsitsipas.
Oh, he beat him last time.
Yeah, he did. He did. But I think Tsitsipas will win. I think Tsitsipas will advance from the bottom semi. I'm going to have him in the final. Let's make sure I've actually done that. Yeah, I've got Tsitsipas to beat him. So he's going to be... I've actually gone quite predictable looking at it now.
Have you? Who have I got in the top one? I've got Khachanov to beat Sinner.
Wow, that's weird. So you've got Sinner beating Medvedev, and then he's going to go out to Khachanov.
Yep.
So he beats one Russian.
Yeah, he can't beat 2, mate.
You can't beat 2 Russians.
Mate, they'll be conferring. They'll be telling each other what to do, what to plan. So I got Khachanov versus Tsitsipas final.
And I've got Medvedev, mate. Medvedev Tsitsipas. So couldn't have got any more straightforward. Number 1 versus number 2 seed. Go on then. You go first.
Well,
drum roll.
They played each other in the last tournament, didn't they? Khachanov, Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas wins again. This time more comfortably, I think, than the 3 sets, though.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to be having Medvedev Tsitsipas. And I like the whole thing of deja vu. I think we're going to see the same as what we saw in the Australian Open. Medvedev's going to just shake off that Lazovic defeat. Shake off all the critics like Ben saying, oh, he's got these seasons. He's no good at certain times of the year. He's going to just basically put his middle finger up to you and everyone else is hating on him. And Medvedev's going to come back and win this tournament here in Marseille.
He's a Russian who doesn't like the cold.
Mate, he's going to win the Open 13.
Doesn't like the cold, mate. Told you. He only plays well in the hot climates.
Mate, it's got 13 in the name, this tournament. So it's unlucky for some, but not Medvedev. I think he's going to like it. He's got like 13 arms, isn't it? Oh, no, 8, isn't it, Octopus? 13. It's a very odd octopus, if that is the case. But for me, Tsitsipas, he played well in the last tournament. There's no Rublev in this tournament to come up against. So I think that Tsitsipas is going to be there. I think he has an easier side of the draw, to be honest. I think he should be able to get through there as long as he doesn't come up against Humbert. Could be a tough one if he faces him, but I think he gets to the final. He's easier. And I think if Medvedev does have to go to the final, he's got to get through Sinner and Khachanov, and I think that that's going to be tougher. So I think that be more whether I see, even if it goes Medvedev, Tsitsipas, I think Tsitsipas could still win it. Yeah, fair enough, mate. So give us your dark horse.
My dark horse for the tournament. I'll go with Davidovich Fokina.
Can I do the same?
If you want.
I'm going to go Fokina as well. Fokina's my dark horse. I know we don't ever like to do that, but at least I've got something. I've got a claim to fame if he goes on and wins this tournament.
Midfield Marshall saying, but he won in Paris and London, Ben. Yeah, well, you got to remember the thing I keep on talking about is the fact that each of the last couple of years, Medvedev has this weird spell at the beginning of the year where he just doesn't seem to play too well. And I think with the pandemic and that gap they had off, when they came back, it sort of pushed his bad spell round a month. So I think that he maybe now is having his bad spell in like Feb, March time rather than January. So that's my thinking behind it. There's a little bit of a crazy thought behind it, but it might be complete and utter rubbish. We'll wait and see. Let's
wait and see. Anyway, we're going to leave you for now. We'll probably be joining you later on this evening for another draw preview video. We'll be doing the free, I think the one in Chile. We're We've got one in Mexico for the women's. And the last one is, obviously, the big one, ATP Doha for the men's.
Mate,
Roger
huge.
Federer in that.
Yeah, mate. Go on the Rog.
Anyway, thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. If you haven't already, like the video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you later on.
Indeed. Take care, guys.